Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to the Yasmin Breakdown. My name is Yasmin Shiraz, and today we are talking about the French Open. I am going to give you an update on our girls, Naomi Osaka, Coco Gauff, and Taylor Townsend. And I want to talk about how, though everyone else seemed to see tennis, I saw healing. I saw what seemed to be the protection of peace out on the court. And so we are going to get into that right now in this particular live. So if you join us on the chat in case you have any questions. All right. So let's get into it. We know that the 2026 French Open is on its way. And I believe, don't quote me, but I think it's true, our defending champ is in fact Coco Gauff. And so you may have heard a little bit about the dinner that Naomi Osaka had. And we're going to talk about how they knew that they were going to be competitors and they went ahead and they had this dinner anyway. And so welcome in, come on in, and let's go ahead and get this party started. All right. Let me just give you guys a disclaimer. This is not a tennis video. Okay. This is not a tennis video. And I'm going to tell you, this is really more of a video where I am going to be talking about the update, but also mental health. Because let me tell you something. When I saw Naomi Osaka walk out, and I'm getting ready to show you guys the video, I wasn't just looking at the outfit. I was looking at the energy. And I thought, this looks like a person who has done some work. This looks like a person who has gone through some storms and is beginning to find peace or has found peace. If y'all don't hear me, okay, hear me now. And I know some people are going to say, girl, all she did was wear an outfit. But sometimes it is speaking more volumes than this, but you got to be on that vibe. You got to be able to hear it and you got to be able to see it, because sometimes an outfit is the intention. Sometimes an outfit is joy. Sometimes a person's outfit is saying, I am in this moment. And so I felt all of that coming off of Naomi, and I felt it all. And so I'm going to give y'all first day French Open, day 1 updates, day 2 what's going on updates. But then we got to talk about Naomi, Coco, Taylor, mental health, community, and why I believe we are truly watching something deeper happen. Now, before I go any further, I want to apologize for my last video in which I misspoke and I said that Naomi Osaka was Italian. I know the young lady is not half Italian. I know her dad is Haitian. What was I doing? I don't know. When you're up here trying to run a live and you're checking your chat and you're doing all this stuff, I don't know. But apologies and thank you for all the people in the comments who corrected me multiple times. Trust me, I only want to give you the most factual, truthful information. And again, her dad is Haitian, her mother is Japanese, and she embraces all of her heritage. Now, let's go ahead and get into the entrance of her, Naomi Osaka, coming into the actual French Open. And so I'm getting ready to show that to you guys just right now. So I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to give you the walk-in. And for the people who might be listening, you guys going to have to catch us on video so that you can see it as well. But I just want to show you how she came in to the entrance. And here we go. So she has on this black gown, a black top. She takes it off, you guys. She has now the gold on. Then look at that. Look at that. Now you see what I'm saying? Intention. Look at it. You see how that looked? And so the reason why I wanted to show that, and I know we went so fast, maybe I have to hit pause on this right here, but let me just stop. She's walking in and she has on a gown. Really, her skirt gives gown, okay? When the last time you seen a tennis player go into an event, go into a stadium, go through the tunnel with a gown on? Gowns are very regal, right? And so when I'm seeing that, I'm seeing and feeling, oh, Naomi's not playing. She's saying, I am regal. I am here. You are going to see me. You are going to respect me. That's what I'm pulling from all of that, right? She goes on, let me keep going. And then, she has, black is a fierce color anyway. Y'all know how that is. And then bam, wait a minute. She got the gold on and she has the sequins on. And as I understand, something about the Paris lights or something inspired the outfit at some point. That's something that I read today. I think I saw her quoted in the Fashion Daily or something that's saying that. But again, I'm not hiding. When you are gold and glittering, you are saying, I am not hiding. I pulled that from this outfit. All right. And then let's see the full piece just again. Okay. And so let me just see. Boom. Right. And so she has now this whole gold. Her outfit is basically all gold with the sequins. And that said to me, it said regal. It said, I'm ready. It said, I am not hiding. It said, stop and pay attention. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys before we talk about the updates, because that entrance was giving. Okay. She walked out in the dramatic black outer look, as we just saw, before revealing the gold sparkling match outfit, right? And it was inspired, I have it in my notes, by the Eiffel Tower lights. And she described her outfit as couture and part of her expression as an entertainer. And this is what I love about this, because she has become very intentional with her presentation. There are no mistakes. This was not random. Her fashion moments always feel thoughtful. And you just imagine the people, the fans out there looking and like, okay, what is Naomi going to have on next? She is giving that extra time, and it says so much. It speaks volumes. And I think since becoming a mother, she's a mom now, she seems so grounded, so intentional. I just love the energy that she is sort of pulling off. And then she has these braids in the front. And I got to get into and share with you what Coco Gauff said about hair and Black women's hair also at the French Open. So now, with your hair, I just want to say, when you can't get your hair right, it seems like you can't get anything right. You can't get your clothing right, and she is taking the time to get all these things right. And being intentional is a great part of finding your peace, right? So that's what I wanted. That's why that was one of the things of why I wanted to do this video. Everything felt put together, not forced, not performative, but intentional. And for all of us out here who may have struggled with mental health from time to time, when you have spent years dealing with being in a survival mentality, or you have been down and you have been struggling, and when you finally get to the point that you get to the other side and you start creating moments, and this is clearly a moment, right? It's something that you should be embracing. So I want us to feel encouragement from what we're seeing from Naomi Osaka just from this. This is day one, okay? When you feel good, you have the energy to put the effort in to looking good. And this is what I saw, and it really felt like healing. And so now, you guys, I wanted to give that to you, but now we're going to go ahead and we're going to get back into the French Open updates. Okay. I'm going to give you some of the French Open updates. Okay. So Naomi Osaka defeated Laura Sigmund in day one. Okay. 6-3, 7-6. It was a strong first set, and they say Laura really made her work in the second. She stayed composed and under pressure, and she saved a set point. Now, in this particular match, again, she's looking very peaceful throughout, and this is what we're seeing. So our tennis fans, I have my alarm set for tomorrow morning to see. I believe Coco is playing tomorrow morning. Oh, and I got another secret. Y'all probably don't even know this other person who's going to be playing tomorrow. So I'm going to get into that too. So I'll tell y'all who's going to play. Coco Gauff defeated Taylor Townsend. Now, Coco wins 6-4, 6-0. Taylor started strong. Coco adjusted. And, you know, Coco's the defending French Open champion. But here's the thing. This is the thing that I love about this, right? These women knew that they were facing each other on day one. They knew this. And just a few days before, they're sitting together at Naomi's dinner party. This is the stuff I want you to sort of learn from, that, yeah, you can compete with people, but you can still have community with people, right? Like a lot of times we act like if we're on different sides, the knives have to always be out. And I am saying to us today, that is not the case. Now, another masterclass here, right? I'm taking so much from this because I think we have so much to learn from what we're seeing from Naomi, Taylor, and Coco. Taylor lost, right, to Coco, but her and her doubles partner's name is Katerina Sinikova. They beat their opponents on day one. You feel that? So what are we pulling from that? Hey, you can lose the singles match, keep your head in the game, and win your doubles competition. You feel what I'm saying? These are the lessons that I am picking up when I'm looking at them and seeing what they're doing, the behavior that they role model. These women are like super focused, and I just want to take my hat off to them. And Taylor, she knew she was facing a tough opponent in Coco, and she knew it, and that didn't stop her from being a part of the dinner. It didn't stop her from being focused for the doubles match. This is such an example for us to just keep going. But this is the bomb that I need to drop for y'all today. Let me see if my bomb works. I think it's working. I'm going to drop that bomb. I don't have my headphones on, so I can't hear it, but I'm going to think that a bomb dropped. But tomorrow, you guys, Venus Williams is playing doubles with her partner, Haley Baptiste, at the French Open 2026 French Open. Yes, you heard that correctly. Venus Williams, married Venus Williams, Serena's big sister, Venus Williams, the lady who does not quit, Venus Williams, is playing doubles in the French Open tomorrow. I want to say it's 7 a.m. I want to say that because that's what my research said. So let's set up our alarms at 7 o'clock in the morning and support Venus, okay? Because I am sure people have counted her out, and here she is playing doubles with Haley Baptiste. And so now, you guys, let's get back to community and competition. And let's get back to Naomi's dinner, because this is something that I keep coming back to, and seeing these tennis players support each other is truly something I believe that we can learn from, right? So Coco and Taylor knew they were literally going to battle, and they still showed up. That's important, because we have been taught, and I don't want to project and put this on you guys, but we've often been taught that competition is isolation. Competition is you only being able to focus on you, tunnel vision, no interaction, and this kind of thing. But here's the thing. Healthy people understand that community and competition can coexist. They can essentially exist together. You can want to win and still want everybody around you healthy. In my previous video, I mentioned Althea Gibson, who broke the color barrier in tennis and had won Wimbledon twice in 1957 and 1958. She didn't have any other Black players that were in Wimbledon with her at that time. But in 2026, there's Taylor, there's Naomi, there's Coco right there. So it is so awesome to see them support each other, right? So you can still want a seat at the table and still offer a chair and tell someone else to pull up. This is the moment that I see. This is the cultural moment that I see happening. And let's be clear. I know there's some of those folks out there who they want to be the only one in white spaces. But sometimes when you're the only one, you feel so much isolation. And so if you can build community and build a space where you feel seen, even if it's only the 8 people involved in tennis at your dinner party, you feel seen. Again, Althea Gibson, she was one of one in Wimbledon in 1957 and 1958. 2026 has dealt Black tennis players a different hand. And I want to say something about emotional safety. When you have people who look like you and who share a lot of your same experiences, it creates a safety, a feeling of safety, because you can talk to them and they know where you're coming from and vice versa. And so everything that these young players are doing is creating safety for themselves, for each other, for themselves. And so that's really good. And let's talk about being in touch, and let's talk about being intentional and also feeling love. I want to talk about a little bit about Coco. I want to talk about Gauff right now because yes. Oh no, my goodness. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Clarence. Clarence Warren. Thank you for this, Clarence. Clarence, you guys, I just was sharing with you all about Haley Baptiste. And so she had a serious injury, according to someone in the chat, Clarence Warren 4516, and she will not be available for doubles. So, I have my chat up and I'm looking at it, and thank you for that, Clarence. And so, gosh, could this mean Serena will come and help her sister? We can only hope. I don't think that's going to happen, but we can hope. Let's pray. Let's pray really hard. They probably have to sign about 100 pages of paperwork to make that happen. But I wanted to talk about being intentional and feeling the love. And at one of the French Open press conferences, Coco Gauff explained something about Black hair. And again, the mother of a daughter, a woman who has natural hair myself, being a Black woman, I just think it's such an important narrative. And I wanted to pull from this as well. And that is, Coco Gauff explained that she takes pride in showcasing diverse Black hairstyles on tour to ensure young girls feel represented. This is what she said. This is the direct quote. The Williams sisters did that for me, so I try to do that for someone else. And I love this so much because when we are looking at films, movies, books, and I'm talking about Black girls growing up, you guys may know I wrote the blueprint for my girls for middle school and teen girls. We do not see enough representation of positive images for Black girls. We don't see it. And so when someone like Coco Gauff, who is a phenomenal tennis player, goes and says, I am going to be intentional because I want Black girls to see themselves when they look at me. I want them to see the possibility. I want them to see someone who looks like them. This is powerful. This is really extremely powerful because now we have one more representation for a little girl who's in a little town looking at the internet and seeing her and saying, oh, her skin is like mine. Oh, her hair is like mine. And again, being the mom of a daughter, it is important for our girls to be able to embrace the skin that they're in, their bodies, their hair. And Coco saying that on an international stage and being so intentional, it's peaceful and it's giving back, right? And the other part of that statement was she gave credit who gave it to her, right? She gave credit to the women who did that for her, because she said the Williams sisters, Venus and Serena, did that for her. And so again, all these doors that Serena and Venus have opened, we need to acknowledge that, right? We have to give a nod to Serena and Venus, who gave Black girls across the world heroes to believe in, full stop. And now I want us to get into Naomi and mental health, you guys. And because, you know, when we talked about her entrance and coming in through the tunnel, the peacefulness of it, the regalness of it, her staking her claim, it is a beautiful, beautiful experience that happened, right? But I want to talk about mental health because I believe it is her going through the mental health stuff that is so much a part of it, right? That is so much a part of it. So I'm going to give you a disclaimer right off the bat. I am not a therapist, right? I know a lot of people in our culture need to say what they aren't. I am not a therapist. Okay. I am speaking as someone who has spent over a decade as a patient working through different forms of therapy. Okay. I want to state that, fully. I have used EMDR. I have used CBT. I have used talk therapy. And all of it has been tremendously helpful. And so I want us to look at Naomi as an example, as a beacon of light, as a beacon of hope when it comes down to mental health for us, as an example of something that seems positive and hopeful. Okay. And so the one thing that she helped remind me of is that you can get on the other side. If you're having difficulty, you can get on the other side. That's something that I feel is tremendously important. And this is something that I'm seeing. And you don't have to be cured. You don't have to be perfect, but you can be healthier. One of the things that I noticed about Naomi was that she once looked exhausted. I have seen her like in a 2018, 2019 time frame. She looked like she was carrying the weight of the world. Today, she looks lighter. I saw press conferences where, as a fan of hers, as a woman who loves tennis, who loves sports, I was concerned that she would be competing at this point, right? But yesterday, I saw a calmer Naomi, a more present Naomi. And I think this is important for us to zero in on, because if you have gone through a mental health issue, you might think that you're going to be overwhelmed forever. I'm here to tell you, you will not be overwhelmed forever. I'm here to tell you that there's a chance that you will feel better. There's a good chance that you won't stay in that place forever. Say you feel like, you know what? I feel like I'm in a ditch right now. I'm saying that there's a lot of options to help us so that we don't feel that we are in that ditch forever. And so when I see Naomi and I see her intention and her light, and how she's building community, that seems like someone who has come on to the other side of their struggle. And I feel like using the French Open to zero in and see this, I think that that's just tremendous. That's just tremendously helpful. I wanted to, in the beginning of this video, I shared with you all that this was not a tennis video, but it was really more about healing and helping. And I want to share 3 mental health lessons that I am pulling from the French Open and what I'm seeing from Coco and Taylor and Naomi. And here's lesson number 1. Curate who you're dealing with. What I mean by that, remove negative people, add uplifting people. Okay? Let me say that again. Remove negative people and add uplifting people. In this example, Naomi's dinner would be a perfect example of that, right? The people who are there were selected intentionally. The people who weren't there were not included intentionally. Healthy people build community and they build environments. If you are going through something, you have to ask yourself, who is in my environment? Who is in my circle? Remember, your circle can become medicine or poison. And so what I want you to ask yourself right now, who drains you? Who pours into you? That's the first lesson that I'm pulling from the French Open, right? 2026. That's lesson number 1. Let's get into lesson number 2. Lesson number 2, be intentional with your life. Naomi recently changed coaches. So in that, she made adjustments. Taylor Townsend, I love that she's doing singles, but she's also intentionally doing doubles. You know, she may even, some people will soar more as a doubles player than a singles player. I love that. I love what she's doing with that. Sometimes healing looks like changing direction, changing routines, changing environments, changing people. Sometimes when we're going through something, we keep everything the same. And that's why if nothing, there's a quote, if you don't change, nothing changes or something like that. Change can be good because it helps us to think differently. So I have a question. What do you want your life to look like? If you know what you want your life to look like, that is how we begin to make changes. We match what we want with what we're going to do, and all of a sudden, change begins to happen. I believe, again, what Naomi is doing, what we saw, what Taylor is doing, this is just stuff I'm pulling from the French Open because it feels so inspiring. And then lesson number 3 that I want to share, and I think that this will connect with everybody. Embrace every moment. These 3 ladies, to me, are embracing every moment with the French Open right now. I mean, you have the fashion piece with Naomi. You know, she comes, she's intentional, she's, regal. So the fashionista people understood that immediately. But even the mental health people, and that's the people who have struggled or whatever, we recognize what healing looks like. So like off the bat, we saw that like really, we see the feeling, we see the mood, we see the moment, right? We, embracing every moment as well, about them having this dinner that they all go, and they knew they're going to be competing against each other and this and that, but they still said, let's take a moment to fellowship. Let's take a moment to break bread. Let's take a moment to build community. This is something that is needed. And they went ahead and they stood in the moment. They embraced the moment and they did that. You have Taylor Townsend, who again she was doing singles. She lost to Coco, but then she's doing doubles. She is like, hey, I am open to it. I am having it. I am here for it. And I love that. And so I feel where I want us to pull from this is that you don't need Paris or the French Open in order to create your moments. You can create your own moments in your own day-to-day life. You can wear the dress. You can take the walk. You can host the dinner. You can build the community of the people who you want in your life. Stop waiting for permission to enjoy your life. That's what I'm saying. That's what we're talking about today. My name is Yasmin Shiraz. And to that, I say, Naomi Osaka won in round one. Coco Gauff won in round one singles. Taylor Townsend won in round one doubles. And I don't know what's going to happen with Venus, since someone on my chat said that Baptist had a serious injury, but we have to stay and turn our alarms on. We have to stay up and turn our alarms on so that we can see these three ladies who are really doing more than tennis right now. And again, we have Venus and Serena to thank, because they have been the role models. I don't even know that they realized the influence that they would have on Black girls and Black women throughout the world. But y'all, let me say something to Venus and Serena. You guys have blessed us so much, and I want you always to feel that you are getting your flowers, because we owe you so much. And so, guys, community, growth, joy, maybe that's even bigger than a French Open trophy. Please leave your comments in the comments, and I will see you all next time. Thanks for following, and make sure you subscribe. And if you listen on podcast, make sure you give me a 5-star review. Peace. See you next time.